Welcome back. Today we're going to change the oil on this 2680 for the first time. So I purchased this Kubota BX2680 a little over a year and a half ago, and it's been a pleasure to own. It has 58 and a half hours. I've been busy these days, and now it's time to change it. So I had the mower on, but I had to take it off. It's virtually impossible to do what I'm about to do with that thing on. And you guys know how much I love to install and take this off. So my Kubota takes 4.2 quarts of oil, and I have the 10W30 engine oil. I have the oil filter, that's the number right there. And I also have the transmission filter, HST filter, that's the number right there. And I bought a little bit of hydraulic fluid, transmission hydraulic fluid, in case I spilled any of the transmission oil, which is unlikely, and these are the prices. And by the way, I had to buy another quart because, like I said, this is only 4 quarts a gallon, and I had to buy an additional quart to make sure that I put the adequate amount. The Super UDT oil, transmission oil, is $8.12 a quart. The 10W30 1 quart is $7.12. The gallon of 10W30 is $28.30, and the oil cartridge is $13.40, and this is for the transmission. And the oil filter, the engine oil filter, is $20.56 plus tax. The total came to $82.93. So the oil filter is right here, easy to get to. And the filler, oil filler's on the other side of the engine, right here. So the oil plug drain, it's right there. All I need is a 14mm wrench. However, this mower frame is in the way, so I'm gonna have to turn it on and lower it as much as I can. Still going to be a little difficult because this is kind of like in the way. I was trying to avoid this, but I'm going to have to take this frame off. So I separated these two parts, and that's good enough for now. I can put the pan right on top. Now, most of you don't have a mower, and you should not have this frame, so you'll be okay. And guys, I always use a plastic bag underneath because it doesn't matter how cautious you are, you always end up spilling a little bit of oil somewhere, whether it be a drop or a little bit more. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put the oil pan right there. Start draining the oil. It may be a little bit uncomfortable with this mower frame here, but I'll make it work. I need to get a few rags. Make sure you have a few rags on hand for when you get super dirty here. Let's see, it's almost there. There we go. And you want to see a magic trick? If you remove the oil dipstick, it'll flow even faster underneath. So let it drain for a couple of minutes, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take out the oil filter out. Now this is the factory oil filter. I've heard a lot of stories about people complaining because it was installed kind of tight. So let's see if I can do it by hand. If not, I'm going to have to get a few tools. Oh yeah, it's super tight. Let's try this one. Will I be able to do it? It's a little tight in here because of this. It wasn't too tight, guys, but look at the tool that I used. I've had this for more than 20 years. It's expandable and it worked like a charm for me. I tried using this one. It's kind of like uncomfortable to go in there with this, but this worked like a charm. I've been changing oil on my cars for decades, and I have, yeah, quite a few tools to change an oil filter. Some of them are harder to get out than others. So I'm gonna let everything drain here for a couple of minutes, and I'll be back in a second. I can see the oil flowing on the side of the block. All right, take it out slowly. Actually, I thought it was gonna be tighter, but it wasn't. But it's very awkward, very difficult to take it out. But let me tell you, it could be worse. Okay, here it goes. I'm gonna clean as best as I can underneath. Yeah, it's very simple. All right, let's get the other oil filter ready to install. So I like to put them side by side just to make sure that they are identical, and they are. So what I'm gonna do, I always, and this applies to all filters, I'm gonna put a little coating of oil on this rubber gasket right here. So once I put the oil into the engine, once the gasket touches the metal, then I rotate or I tighten 3/4 of a turn. I normally never have to tighten any more than that, so 3/4 of a turn would be fine. I've never used any tools to tighten a filter. It's always been by hand. Not required, but I'm gonna add a little bit in there and let it soak in. The filter's going sideways, so I'm just gonna let it soak in. I don't want any to spill when I install it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. Okay, so right about there, the gasket is touching the engine block. So now I'm gonna tighten it 3/4 of a turn by hand. And that's it. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the oil drain plug back on. So I'm gonna clean out around the base a little bit. Put the plug back in and tighten it up. And once I'm done filling it with oil, I'm gonna check this again just to make sure that it's okay. Okay, time to bring this back out. Slowly. Bring out the plastic. Let me tell you, this has kept a lot of garage floors clean in the past. Just a simple trash bag. But today I didn't spill anything. Not even a drop, so I didn't need it. And just like the gloves, I really didn't need them either, but it's good to have. Muy limpio. Let's add the oil. 4.2 quarts for the Kubota BX2680. I'm gonna clean a little bit. It's just dusty, it's not really dirty. I don't see any grease or anything around here, but just to be on the safe side. Okay, I'm gonna put the funnel in here, like so. And I'm gonna put 4.2 quarts of oil. I'm gonna start with these 4 quarts or 1 gallon first, and then check the oil level. I'm gonna turn it on, let the oil flow for a second. Guys, I've been changing oil for decades on my cars, and I have many different types of ratchet. I have this type, this one with the chain, and this metal band one, and then I have these as well. Okay, but the one that worked today the best is this one. You connect it to a ratchet and an extension like so in the back, and this expands as you saw earlier. I'm trying to do it with one hand, but I can't. But it does expand. You see the spring there? It does expand. It fits the Kubota filter just perfectly, and I was able to take it out very, very easy. So yeah, this is a winner for today. All right, let's see. There it is. I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of dark in here, but it's perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to the transmission filter. I've seen some people use 15W40 for their tractor oil, but why do I use 10W30? Let me explain. Okay, so we're looking at the Kubota manual, and we're looking at the section engine oil. So if you live in an area where the temperatures go above 77 degrees Fahrenheit, then you can use 30 weight oil, 10W30 or 15W40. However, if you live in an area where the temperatures go from 14 degrees Fahrenheit to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, then you can use 20 weight oil, 10W30 or 15W40. However, if you live in an area where the temperatures fall below 14 degrees Fahrenheit, then you can only use 10W30 oil, and that's my case because here in the winter we have temperatures that fall below zero a lot, quite frequently. However, if you live in one of the southern states, then 15W40 can be one of your options. And notice here that 10W30 can be used in all regions. And now to the transmission filter, again, just in case I do spill any. I'm going to put the plastic underneath. I'm going to put this very same pan there. And in this case, I'm going to use this filter wrench. This is kind of a rubber, I forget what they call it, but it's nothing but a rubber that's expendable. Yeah, you can extend it back and forth, and it grips the filter, and you can pull it out that way. Okay, here's the filter. And yeah, let's put this around it. Well, you know what? I may be able to take it out by hand. Let's see. Oh, it's tight too. Okay, so let's use this little doohickey tool. Okay, it's loose. I don't know if you can see that. Let me take out this wrench. Now I can do it by hand. There may be a little bit of leakage here. There it goes. Did you hear that pop? Okay, not a whole lot leaked out. Most of the oil is below that line right there. It's on that reservoir below the filter. There we go, guys. There's this filter, and it's gray, kind of like the other one. Okay, so out with the old, in with the new. Yeah, the base around it, I don't know if you can, let me see. I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's clean. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in. Probably difficult to see from your angle. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it, maybe half a turn to 3/4, but I think a half a turn's enough because I can feel it super tight already. Yep, half a turn. There you go, guys. It's a thing of beauty. HST filter is on. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn the tractor on and then check the HST fluid level and add any if I need it. So guys, what I did is I turned the tractor on and I moved it forward for a few feet and back a few feet. I just turned it off, and now I'm about to check the transmission fluid, the HST, hydrostatic transmission fluid. And I don't know if you can tell, but it should be between the crosshatch lines. It is, but it's kind of like on the low side. So I'm gonna add a little bit of HST fluid until it reaches the upper level. I call this UDT2. And wait a minute, check it again, and just keep adding until you reach what you need. Perfect. That's all I needed. So now what I need to do is install that mower. Ugh. I'm not gonna show you how I install that mower. I'm gonna show you something else. Instead, I'm gonna show you my silky chickens. These are going outside in the next day or two. Come here, Panchito. You're always the first. Come on. Yep. Oh, come here. My silkies are getting big. They're getting huge. They're about 2.5, maybe 3 months old now. And they're beautiful. Yep. They've been inside all this time. First in the basement, then the garage, now the shed. And either today or tomorrow, they're gonna go outside to their new home. Yeah, they're ready. Okay guys, I hope you learned something here today. I certainly did. Never worked on a tractor before. I've only worked on cars, and it's the same thing. It's the same principle, the same way of doing things. So yeah, I'm glad it came out okay. And now I don't have to change the oil until about I believe it's 200 hours, and that won't be for maybe another couple of years or so. But I'm very happy with the results. Now I have to do other maintenance. I have to grease, and so let me talk about that a little bit on the computer screen. So we're back with the Kubota manual, and what Kubota recommends at the 50-hour interval right here, they recommend an oil change, engine oil filter replacement, HST oil filter replacement as well, and engine start system check, OPC system check, and greasing. I'm going to be doing all of these on another video. And they also recommend wheel torque or wheel bolt torque and lock lever cleaning. Okay, so all of these right here, I'm going to be doing in a different video here in the future. So for the most part, I'm going to be doing a lot of greasing. So yeah, look for that in the near future.